Well, there was the clear reason why we were able to build a lead in the second half was we stopped giving up offensive rebounds. We held them to one offensive rebound in the second half, and we stopped turning the ball over. We had three turnovers in the second half. That was the reason why it was a little closer than we anticipated. Not that I didn't think North Dakota State. I thought they scrapped and they were tough. But we were able to kind of grind it out. That's that old Upper Midwest basketball that I saw for 8 years. That Coach does a really good job of at North Dakota State, and that's a winning program. That's where we're trying to get to. I thought they'd go down swinging. They did. But the biggest thing was the rebounding, and we stopped turning the ball over in the second half was much, much better. So a really good win. Obviously proud to be 5-0. Our defense in the first half was terrific. That was really, really good, and the fans were great. So, we just keep trying to grow and evolve.
They're two big men. One goes for 31 last night. Tonight, you guys foul him out, shooting 1 for 7. But the other guy kind of steps up. Was it a pick your poison going into this? No, ideally you would have wanted to stop both of them, I know, but did you guys game plan for one more than the other?
We wanted to get Nelson out of the game because he was very, very impressive last night. And, Morgan's got good size and physicality too. We wanted to go at both of them, but we got Nelson out of a rhythm because he really was terrific. And Morgan was good, and I thought we flew around a little bit better where we trapped with the closest guy and we scrambled. That lineup of, was it KJ, Donovan, and House was really, really scrappy, which was great. So, Morgan was good. We got to do a better job of just guarding him one-on-one. And if we're going to commit to trapping, then fully rotate and embrace it. And we had moments in the second half where we did that for sure. So Nelson's got to be one of the better players in their league, I would assume. And we limited his minutes, which was huge.
Jalen tonight, kind of back-to-back, really poor shooting nights. He actually hit a few buckets at the end to make it look a little bit better, but he still ends up with 6 assists, only 1 turnover, 3 blocks, 2 steals. He was doing all the other stuff. Are you happy with that, or do you need him to back off on the shooting when he's having a shooting night like he did tonight last night?
No, I was happy that he was able to pull out of the funk that he was in. He's too old and too good of a player to get down on himself mentally. He's a terrific guard. He's one of the best guards that I've ever coached. He needs to move on to the next play. I thought he got down on himself in the middle. He started out really, really good, and then he allowed missed shots to affect him. Just go play basketball. You're too good of a player. So he kind of ebbed and flowed a little bit, but I thought he pulled himself out of it towards the end for sure.
Coach, you talked about the defense, especially in the first half, and even going in halfway into the second half, they were shooting 26% off of 42 shots. What specifically did you like from your defense tonight, and what do you hope to see more of?
I think we're pretty connected. If somebody gambles, we're covering for that guy. And we're we're better this year than last year of helping the helper and rotating to draw a charge. KJ had one. We had a lot of deflections. We had 9 steals. So we're just a little bit more, we're covering for each other better. We sent them to the foul line a little bit too much, but I thought that physicality by them was really, really good. So we're evolving. Like Josiah said, our offense is way ahead of our defense. But if our defense can catch up, then we're going to be a really, really good team, in my opinion. So I thought tonight was a really good test to, okay, now we're going to play a physical grind-em-out game. We got to go. And I thought that they learned from the first half, made some adjustments, and were really good.
Coach, how tired are you guys right now just with the back-to-back? And what do you see from North Dakota?
How what? I'm sorry.
How tired are you just coming off back-to-back?
I don't know. I always kind of gauge how tired I am. It's probably how tired they are, and I'm good. We had a 10-day rest, so I told them hey, get out of here, go get some rest. We'll cut up the film. You watched Northern Colorado in person today, so we'll make sure you're prepared tomorrow. Northern Colorado was, they had their way with North Dakota State. They were really good, so it won't be an easy game, and none of them are. But, I know they like this better in practice, and that's for sure.
Would you comment on your team orientation, the unselfish play?
Yeah, it's been good. we've certainly put an emphasis on getting to the rim and playing in the post. I don't know if I've ever had a team in my 10 years being head coach and we shot 9 threes. So we got to find a rhythm of not holding back if we're open from 3, but we're doing a really good job of attacking the basket. We're doing a really good job of playing inside to out. And we're 5-0. I mean, it's we've talked about the growth of this program, and we're continuing to get better. And I think our guys need to understand now that when you're 5-0 and you're playing better and the expectations are higher, the other team's going to think it's a quality win. So you got to understand you have to bring it every single night. I thought they really responded well. I didn't love our energy versus Jacksonville State. I thought it was way better today. They're very, very coachable. I think they love playing in front of our great fans, and they've got high aspirations. So far, so good.
What's the most important thing you want your team to learn from playing 3 games in 3 nights?
Well, it's a little bit weird because normally when you do these games, you're sitting in a hotel, so because you don't normally play these exempt games in your arena. So rest is so very important. Good, bad, or whatever, you have to move on. Every game is totally different than the last game. And there may be different styles, and you got to stick with your core fundamentals. Everybody's got to be ready. You can make it physically tired. You can get mentally tired. The great ones are able to sustain the competitive spirit throughout the whole season. So there's no better opportunity to do that playing the third game in 3 days.
Javante, 2 minutes in the second half. Anything to that other than?
No, it really have anything to do with him. He was in foul trouble, and then we built a lead. Probably could have found a way to get him back in there. But I just thought we built that lead with those 3 guards there.
And then Donovan, right after all this praise we gave him last night, no assists and 4 turnovers tonight. Is that just a freshman kind of going through some things, or did you see something specific there?
There was a couple of chances he took, and there was a couple we dropped that we needed to catch. He made a great pass to Sebastian, and Sebastian could have caught that. He had a couple of kind of cross-court ones you got to get a little bit better at. I thought what he was good at today was getting to the rim. So it's going to be peaks and valleys with freshmen. But, he played 21 minutes, and I thought he did a lot of good things.
And you want him to be maybe not House and Mashburn, but you want him to be a little more aggressive, and that might come with some turnovers, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, what I tell these guys is in order to help the team, you've got to play efficient basketball. And in order to help your individual career, which it doesn't mean you're selfish, you got to play efficient basketball. So if you're a point guard, you can't have 0 assists and 4 turnovers. Now, he's done a phenomenal job. Obviously, he's first in the conference. Who knows if that changed today? But you got to shoot a high percentage. You got to have a high number of assists, low number of turnovers. That's going to help you. It's going to help the team. But be aggressive. Just be smart.
What's the scouting report of Northern Colorado?
I have no idea. I'm going to watch and figure it out. So, I mean, I was impressed with what I watched yesterday. I know my staff has watched more film than I have. So I was up this morning about 5 a.m. watching some film. I'll do the same. I'll watch this game and then kind of formulate what we got to do.
How important was it, your guards getting on the defensive glass?
It was great. When you see Mash with 5, House with 5, Javante with 5, KJ with 5, that's the key, is they were coming back and rebounding the ball. That's why they were only able to get 1 offensive rebound. Now, we sent them to the foul line a little bit more than we would have loved. But, yeah, that was key. I thought it was a really good, complete performance, and I love the balance on the box score. You got 12 points, 10, 19, 14, 8, 7, 6. That's what this is going to be all about. That's how good teams win. Okay, you're going to take away that. Now we got to do this. So it was a very balanced game for sure.
In that first half, you guys looked defensively. You guys held them to like 21.6% shooting. So you guys are playing good defensively. But that was probably, at least looks-wise, aesthetically, it looked like one of the sloppier halves you guys had offensively. Is that fair to say?
No, absolutely. I mean, I could tell from on the court, and then once I got to the bench, I was like, okay, this is really bad. But, I mean, it's obviously not great to go through that, but the fact that we were able to get through that, keep them down defensively, and then obviously pull away in the second half, I mean, it was kind of the light at the end of the tunnel where, obviously not every game you're going to come out guns blazing, kind of like we did last night, came out, put them away like 12-0 to start. Tonight, obviously, they stuck with us for quite a while. Had me worried a little bit, I'm not going to lie. But, I mean, you know, Coach talked about it at halftime. He's like, you know, throughout the season, it's going to be ebbs and flows. Like, it's not just going to be, you know, all sunshine and rainbows the whole way. Like, you know, luckily we were able to pull it out. But, you know, there's going to be times when you might lose a bad one. And luckily we were able to get that turned around before it got to that point. But, I mean, yeah, it's just kind of part of the game, part of the season.
The big man, Grant Nelson, number 4,
Mm-hmm.
last night had 31 points. Tonight he fouls out 1 to 7 shooting.
Yeah.
But then their other forward kind of has a pretty
Morgan.
big game against you guys.
Mm-hmm.
What was the game plan with those two guys? Was it stop the guy that had the 31 last night and then the other guy stepped up, or one step up tonight and the other didn't?
So obviously, I mean, they're both great players. So my last school, UMKC, I've played against them the last 2 years. I played against Grant the last 2 years, Morgan just last year. But I mean, they're definitely great players, and I mean, they obviously showed that when one has an off night, the other one can kind of pick up the slack. And so, obviously, they aren't doing well so far this season. But I mean, they got a young crew, and especially with those two, I mean, when you got a good front court like that, I mean, they can be a great team. But obviously, Grant having 31 last night, you know, I stuck around and watched the whole thing. And I knew him just from playing against him the last couple of years. But I kind of prefer it to be my matchup, be the guy that we gotta kind of shut down, because, you know, I take a lot of pride in my defense, and obviously I knew he was a great scorer, and so any chance I could, I tried to draw a foul on him any way I could, or obviously stay physical in post ups, make him. Obviously, I drew. I think 4 of his. I think I drew 4 of his 5, or maybe it was 3, but.
You drew 7 fouls, so it's a good chance you did.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, he's a great player. So I was like, I came into this game, you know, I was honestly looking forward to it because I kind of prefer those matchups, and obviously Morgan did a good job picking it up. You know, he's another solid kid. I mean, obviously we would like to shut everybody down, but usually there's going to be at least one guy that kind of gets it going. So.
How would you assess the development of your team through the first 5 games?
Well, I would say for one, obviously we're still, so obviously we're like with me and Mo, kind of coming in, and Javante getting to play obviously Jalen and Mash are kind of playing the same positions, but besides that, obviously Vante's playing the 3 instead of the 4 this year, and then me and Mo are new guys, and so we're still finding that rhythm, you know, cleaning up a lot of things, but I mean, I think the development defensively is kind of something that is the most noticeable, like, improvement that I've kind of liked, is that, you know, obviously first few games, you know, a lot of it was kind of trading buckets, like not, you know, we had a couple good defensive performances, but it wasn't until SMU that we really showed what we were capable of. And then last night, you know, kind of lost it a little bit. Luckily, we were still able to get it away, but you know, I think we gave up 21 yesterday in the first half, and I think it was about that. 25. Yeah, so we gave up 25 the first half today, and so it's kind of more just about keep developing our defense, because we have all the offensive weapons we could need. And so once we get our defense kind of going, which is we're on the right path. Once we get that going, I think we'll be where we need to be.
Time for one more with Josiah.
Josiah, you brought up one thing. You mentioned something about rhythm. In the first half, it kind of seemed like you guys, it was hard to get into a groove. There's different foul calls, a lot of second chance points, or at least 9 for the other team. So what was it like just trying to find your rhythm tonight in that, especially in the first half?
I mean, it's kind of just you just kind of got to, like, bear down and just stick with the game plan. I mean, Coach will probably talk about it, but he's constantly just talking to us about, like, moving the ball, just get it swinging. Because the worst thing you can do when you're struggling like that offensively is just try to turn it into, like, you don't want anyone to try to be the superhero. You know, you just need everybody just keep playing a role and just let it work out. It's only when one person tries to kind of save the day that things really start crashing. And so luckily we were able to kind of get it moving. 15 assists, not amazing, but I mean, still sharing the ball well, and I think we did a good job. I mean, the points were pretty well spread out. I mean, obviously Mash led with 19, but for the most part, we had 4 guys double digits. You know, I mean, just kind of sticking with the game plan and moving the ball.
I guess, why was it hard to get going that first half offensively, first of all?
I think it's basketball. I mean, we just missed shots. I mean, the ball's going to go in and out, and we just got to keep playing, keep guarding. I thought our energy picked up towards the second half, towards like the defensive end. I think that's been our main focus all year, is just the defensive end. The offense is going to take care of itself, so we just got to keep playing hard on that end.
You guys hold them to 30.5 or whatever it was, 30.5% shooting for the game. It was 21% in the first half. What was working so well defensively?
I would just say our gap helped, and just getting out to shooters and running them off the line. And they also like to Barkley a lot and get in the post. So just being heavy in our digs just to disrupt them and get the ball out those big hands. So I mean that's all our game plan was, and we were able to execute that pretty well. So
I haven't seen you guys dig quite like that this year so far. Did you guys maybe, I know the gap helped. You guys emphasized it at SMU quite a bit. But I hadn't seen you guys dig like tonight.
Yeah.
This year, is that right?
I mean, we played some 2 pretty good bigs that were going to have the ball in their hands a lot. So, and it was kind of a similar game to last year about Wyoming, just similar style of, game plan prep of just they like to post up and, work off shooters and cut and just drive gaps and stuff like that. So they had the same kind of feeling as Wyoming as last year's prep. So, yeah.
Well, there was a lot of different foul calls and just a lot of kind of weird things in tonight's game. I mean, a lot of teams would get frustrated, but you guys as a whole keep a lot of composure. How do you guys do that as a team?
Just leadership amongst just our core guys. I mean, we emphasize just staying even keel throughout the whole game, because we know that things are going to happen. Calls are not going to go our way, and the refs are human just like us. I mean, we make mistakes, we turn the ball over, and they're going to miss calls as well. So we understand that, and we just got to keep playing a good 40 minutes of basketball. So yeah.
Comments on the conditioning of your team.
It's great. I mean, it's great. I mean, I think that starts from the summer and just our work and preparation. And I know that gets thrown out lightly, just working and stuff like that. But I mean, we really emphasize being in shape and running these bigs, in these non-conference and even in the conference. So, we're an in-shape team, and we're gonna run on these dudes.
So how's your body feel coming off back-to-back, another one tomorrow?
100%. We ready to go get this one tomorrow. 100%.
The game was staying around that 10, 12-point margin. Then you and Jalen had that stretch for, I want to say it was about 3 to 5 minutes where both you guys really got it going. What did you guys see from the defense during that stretch?
I mean, we just saw openings and gaps, and just both of us are always going to stay aggressive. No matter what's going on, no matter what's the situation, we're always going to put pressure on the defense, because we know that's going to help our team win, and it's just going to put us in a better position as a team. So.
Curious what you thought about, it's basketball. I know that's what you said earlier about kind of your first half as a team. But Jalen has now had back-to-back games where he really struggles shooting, but he still ends up tonight with 6 assists, 1 turnover, 3 block shots, 2 steals. He ended up hitting, I think, his last 3 shots, so 6 for 16 is what he ended up. But at one point he was 2 for 12, but he kept going. And have you seen growth from last year to this year? And when he's having a night like that, not making the bad decisions and not letting it take away the rest of his game?
Most definitely. I've seen a tremendous growth. I mean, as we all know, he's a tremendous player, and, offensively and defensively. So, I mean, he's always going to keep going. And, definitely from last year, if, a year ago from last year, if that situation would have happened, it might have looked different, which is good, because we see growth from him. So, he's always going to keep going, no matter if shots are going in or shots are not. He's always going to give it his all defensively. And just play hard as hell. So sorry, excuse my language. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that's as bad as it gets.
Yeah, my bad.
Coach was praising the team just a minute ago, just how spread out the points are between everybody tonight. I mean, what's it like to see the team so involved with a lot of guys?
It's amazing. I mean, everybody's contributing, and that's what a team's all about. I mean, if we want to have a conversation and be in a conversation come in March, this is what we need, and everybody's going to get a touch. Everybody's going to, we're going to spread the wealth. That's what we're going to do. So I'm happy about it for sure.